measure of rest, which is important. Okay. Now, since we're already kind of stretched out here, why not just use some nice voice leading? Just move one note in order to get to our G13. All we have to do, and it's rootless, is move the C down a half step, and we get to our G13. So this is a little bit hard to grab sort of out of the blue like that, grabbing a chord like this. But it's kind of, you know, since you're already kind of in a stretched out stance, it's kind of nice that you can just, you know, put that in there, okay? Now, which kind of led me to the next chord. So it's a chain reaction, really. This is going to lead me to this, which sounds real dissonant. I'm putting a C in there. I'm using an F minor major 7. Now what's that all about? Well, what that is, it's about where it's going next. It's going next to an F sharp minor major 7. Now that's my target chord right there, and I use that to get altered. So I guess a good rule of thumb is if you want an altered chord, use the minor major 7 up a half step from the root of the dominant. So the regular chord is F7 altered, and we're using an F sharp minor major 7. You know, because it just gives you two tensions basically, the flat 9 and the sharp 5. Okay, but that's why I use the F minor major, because I'm going to the target. So it's just a sliding thing where I'm going. It's kind of cool to do those things. You know, you'll notice players like Ed Bickert in particular. Ed uses a lot of well, first of all, he uses a lot of chords when he comps sometimes, and you know, almost like what Barry Harris says, it's not so important what the chord changes are. Everybody can play the changes, but what do you do in between? And I find like players like Ed Bickert and Jim Hall, in particular on the guitar, play a lot of really great in-between chords, you know. And so I've attempted to throw in some of these type of things. Sometimes they're just nothing more than just constant structures that are moving, you know, like I'm saying the target is the F sharp minor major, and you're just going up a half step into it. You go. But if you listen to that with the F bass, I'm going to drop in on my 7th string, or you can do that, you know. It's a pretty nice altered chord, you know. And then in order to get the dominant, I'm just moving the 7th of the minor chord down a half step. So I'm going, and then going down a half step up, taking off. So at Berkeley they used to call this contiguous 2/5s. These 2/5s descending in half steps. Okay. I have heard a lot of folks go to A half diminished, to A half diminished there, which is the more common thing. But what's cool about this is if you look at the root motion, right? It's going, and then it's going down. You could argue that, hey, yeah, it's going down a tritone, but really the way I think about it is just 2/5s descending in half steps. Okay, so it's a cool substitution idea here, and this is done. Jim Hall and Bill Evans and guys like that used to do that one all the time. So, so we got with the melody. Kind of stock voicings, and then we got so the comping example, we have bottom line, and then a little a descending chromatic line there. Oh, sorry. And then I love that minor major. I'm doing it a lot in this tune. We were talking about the stuff in between the chords that you play. Well, here's a cool 4 measures of music, I think, because we've got a little counterpoint, a little descending line starting from the E, and then the regular change, E minor 7 flat 5. Now all we're going to play is the G minor triad. Leave it to the bass player to play. You know, or if you do a drop 3 chord, you can stick the E in there too. Okay. Now, the normal chord here after the E minor 7 flat 5 is A7. Okay, just like if you look at bar 2 of you know, Come Rain or Come Shine. Okay, so we're gonna. What I'm going to do is use triad pairs. Slide them. Okay, so if I put the A bass note, which is what the bass player will play, it's a really nice altered sound down on page 9. So we did that. And again, it's just constant structure: A flat minor 11 to B flat minor. Back down, and then this chord, the D flat 13. I like this sound a lot. These are the kind of chords that are hard to come up with, sort of while you're copying just on the spot. And so I might take a second to talk about how to integrate these type of things, how to learn them.